So one screw either side. There's our top cover off. I'll get rid of that terrible dirt and dust in there. This camera, oh, it could have been anywhere. In 85 years, it's probably got a long history. All sorts of evil things have probably happened to it, courtesy of all sorts of people. Some of its injuries were probably accidentally inflicted. Some of them were probably purposely inflicted by someone who intended it to achieve some result unknown only to them. The paint here is quite worn and it's quite dirty. There's probably quite a bit of ground and dried oils and so forth on there. And there may even be multiple paint here. There's a very dull patch in the paint there. Not sure what that's from. But any camera that was finished in black like this, of course, there's a very good chance that over the years someone's had a go at touching up the paint in order to improve the appearance, and it's anyone's guess what product they used in order to achieve that. There's quite a distinctive dulled off area there in the paint, it's like a different paint. And some of the damage to painted areas, you know, it can even be that somebody was cleaning it with an unsuitable solvent. They were cleaning some other component on the camera and the solvent ran onto the paint. Or here, now here that's very obviously repainted. Someone's repainted there at that point. Very likely they painted that whole edge and the top has since worn down again. But there's a definite stripe of black paint there, which has clearly been done with a brush, and the finish clearly doesn't match. Excuse me. I've got to have this apart so I can clean the glass here, because that's all grubby. These are only made out of aluminium. They're typically a bit squeezed in. Just from people grabbing the camera or bashing it on things. That means that sometimes it's difficult to get them apart. So I'm just cleaning out the frame of this to get rid of any dirt and dust and grease. And this is the spring that holds the front and rear lens in place. And I was dealing with this task yesterday on another camera, and the secret here, this is very much the same. This front lens here has got a big chip on one corner, and that's a sure sign that the camera's been dropped at some stage and probably struck, possibly there where the paint's missing, and it's actually chipped away the glass at that corner, because it's quite a sharp corner there, and it's been thumped, and that thump has broken that glass. It won't matter. I don't think you can even see that much of the glass in the finder. So I'm just cleaning this with some glass cleaner, and I'm using a very well laundered cotton handkerchief here, and these work very well for doing tasks like this. Soft cotton, won't leave any scratches. nice and absorbent. So before your wife throws away all your rotten old handkerchiefs, keep one aside for doing tasks like this. And the rear eyepiece is quite a bit smaller. It's flat or close to it on one surface, and it's convex on the other surface. Now the flat or close to it surface goes to the eye. The convex surface goes inwards into the finder. So there's that piece of glass. Now the secret for this, if I can assemble these three pieces together and fit them all in at the same time, I'm going to hold this to the light so I can see which surface I'm looking at there. If I put all of these in here at the same time, it'll work. It's only seriously difficult, not impossible. So I can hold the front glass together with the spring in one hand. Of course the glass doesn't want to slide down into the frame of this thing because it's pretty bashed about. The frame, I mean. It's just about got that started. See if I can get this glass fed in. Is that going to go? Yeah, it did. Okay. Just checking I've got that rear lens in there the right way round. And I didn't flip it. I think I did flip it. Okay, let's have them back out again. This is a tedious business. I can get that started and look at my glass again from the rear window. That's the right way. Getting enough space here at the back to slide this glass into so I can slide this spring and everything down is tedious at best. Oh, that would fall in, I just about had that. Unfortunately, grasping small pieces of glass by the edges with a pair of tweezers is difficult. I'll bring you back when I've got it back in. You'll be sitting here waiting 15 minutes otherwise. Well, it's always the same way. On the next iteration it went fine. So I'm just going to check that I've got those glass surfaces clean to my satisfaction now. In other words, remove all the dirty marks I've managed to put onto them while I'm trying to get them in place. They do look a lot better. They look good. Which wouldn't be hard, you can see through them now. You couldn't exactly see through them first of all, they were just too grimy. Let's just look out the window. Yes, that'll do nicely. Okay, this can go back on there. I'll just make sure I've got no more dust in there than I need to have. Put this back in place. You have two small screws. They're not particularly easy to get in place. You're driving them in at an angle. I'm not doing that one up tight until I've got its mate in position. Otherwise it'll just shift that finder across and I'll never get the screw in. Right, they're both in position. I can tighten those two screws up. That's the top cover. So, if we remove the advanced rewind lever here, which means lifting it against its spring, undoing it. If I remove the take-up spool by putting a spanner in the top there, then rotating that clockwise, I can just, I want to put any more, yeah, I'll just put a touch of synthetic grease on that lever there and check before I close the top that the screws are tight. Top cover in place. There are 3 nickel plated screws and I saved the prettiest ones to do this job. Now, having said that, I've seen prettier examples than these. These are the same size screws as held the struts mechanism into the body casting. The heads are a little bit chewed up, and that's probably because someone used a screwdriver that was a little bit small when they were undoing them. I'm just tightening these screws up. My video camera just ceased to function then because it decided that the batteries were flat, which seems to happen with monotonous regularity. Okay, that's done. The rewind knob spins on, something through the fork to stop them turning. Turn that knob. I don't have to go crazy with it. This lifts up now all the way as it should do. The advanced knob, put that on, span it to the top of the take-up spool, do that up tight. That's good. That's working correctly. The advanced rewind lever. Right, getting this into the right spot is entertaining. No, it needs to be tighter than that. That's not lifting that lever off. Let's try it there. That's rewinding. That seems okay. I'm deeply suspicious. Right, the lever, the little ring that holds that down in place. Let's get that slid into position. Now, let's get this located. I've got to find the holes for those two screws. Here's one of them. Its mate's over there. Right, in the advanced position it advances. In the rewind position it'll rewind. Our film advance is sorted out. The base of the camera. Here's the leather. I need to get that clean. I'll scrape that lightly with the scalpel, and I'm going to give that a light rub with some sandpaper to lift the loose fibres of leather off that. Then I can glue it in place.